My elders, the Black baby boomer. Have you thought much about your legacy? I hope you have. And I hope you constantly think about it, because I think about it all the time. What your legacy will be, what it looks like, and what it should look like. Let's take a hard, brutally honest look at your generation's legacy. Let's get to work. Respectfully.
Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died.
Power rising, King brothers and Queen sisters. Thank you for stopping by, and welcome to the village. I am the village elder. It seems that many people have the wrong idea about what their legacy is. And Lord knows it seems that our beloved elders, the Black baby boomer, have subscribed to an incorrect definition or incorrect meaning of what a legacy is and what it should be. Your legacy as an individual affects the legacy of the group as a whole, the generation, the baby boomers as a whole. And as you have focused on your individual legacy and taken your eyes off the collective, our people as a whole, it turns out that the legacy that you're beginning to leave is one that is damaging to the whole, to the collective, and it leaves a stain on your generation. I'll tell you what I mean. It seems that a lot of people, when they look at their legacy, the first thing they start to look at is their accomplishments as individuals. I graduated from this school, I went to college, or the amount of money they've made in their lifetime, or the amount of property they've amassed. These are the things that people look at when they start thinking about their own legacy. Got news for you. The day you go into that cold ground, no one is going to remember who you worked for, what school you went to, how many cars you had, what cars you drove, what house you lived in, what college you went to. The day after your funeral, the day after you go into that cold ground, nobody outside of your children are going to remember anything you've amassed. The cars you drove, your material possessions, only your kids are going to fight over that. Anything else about you, where you worked at, what school you went to, what line of work you were in, nobody's going to remember that. When that obituary goes into that trash can, nobody's going to remember any of that. And there goes your legacy. Nobody outside of your immediate family members, your children and your spouse, are going to care about how much money you have, how much money you left them, what possessions, what property you left them. Only your family members are going to care about that. But beyond that, nobody's going to remember anything else about you the day after your funeral. Again, a legacy gone. No one's going to talk about you, and then your name is going to be in danger of being forgotten. It's not what you amass, how much money you amass, how much property you amass over your lifetime. It's how many people you've helped with the money and the property and the possessions that you have, the wealth that you built. Those are the things that people are going to remember. People are going to never forget. How many lives have you changed? Folks always talk about that dash on your tombstone. What is it going to mean? Because if the only thing that anybody remembers about you is going to be your children, and they're fighting over what you left them, or everybody's looking for a will, or everybody's trying to get insurance money, when that money is gone and spent, when that property is gone, nobody's going to remember you. A legacy destroyed and a legacy gone. A life unremembered. And that is what you need to be thinking about now. If you have not thought about it before now, that can change. You can take that knowledge and that wisdom that you've amassed that is going to change lives. People will remember you decades after you're gone, if not for 100 years after you're gone. If you're changing lives, if you're teaching people how to feed their families, teaching them the secrets of your craft so that they may be able to learn your craft to be able to provide for their families. They'll never forget who taught them, and they will always talk about who taught them. When I talk about this subject of legacy, one of the examples that I always use is Thurgood Marshall. Thurgood Marshall, I would argue, after my research and my study of his career, I would calculate and argue that his greatest contribution to the Black community, to the Black race, many people think are the court cases and the laws that he fought and changed. That is a great contribution to the Black community and to the United States as a whole. But that is not his greatest contribution. His greatest contribution to the Black community, to the Black race, to the United States of America was not the laws that he changed, but the army that he built. The army of young, strong, intelligent, very capable, and successful lawyers to come after him to keep his work going, to keep the fight going, because he could have been assassinated. He had many run-ins with racists, so it wasn't a wild thought that he might be assassinated. Because of the nature of his work, he was always in danger. So he had the epiphany to train an army of young, hungry, super intelligent Black lawyers and some Jewish ones. So now we don't have one Thurgood Marshall. We have an army of them. That was his biggest contribution. So yes, he could have been assassinated, but he also could have moved up. It wasn't a wild thought either for him to become a justice on the Supreme Court. That could have been hush money to get him off those cases. And he was smart enough to get in front of that. Where there was one Thurgood Marshall, it became 20 Thurgood Marshalls. And that was absolutely brilliant of him. That is the legacy that everybody should remember, is all the work that kept going after his cases from lawyers that he trained. I use that as an example for a reason, because it is time for the baby boomers to build their armies, to share their trade secrets, their craft secrets, to teach young people how to do the work that they've done, to train young people to keep the work going in our communities, whether it be civil rights lawyers, whether it be engineers, construction workers, whether it be plumbers, electricians, auto mechanics. We need it all in our communities, in our village, or whether it's life lessons, just sharing wisdom, teaching us what the generations before you taught you, even teaching us the improvements that you've added to those lessons that might make it easier for us to understand than it was for you. We all lean on the lessons that we were taught, and many of us are able to improve upon them, to be able to explain it in a better way where it's easier to digest and understand. That is the legacy that helps you to be remembered forever. I personally remember everything that everybody ever taught me. My teachers, I can tell you in math, what teacher taught me what. In writing, English that we call it back in the day, science, I can tell you everything that every teacher ever taught me and my mentors. Yeah, people call me a weirdo because of my memory. It's pretty outdated, yeah. But that's because it was impactful. And I want to honor those who taught me so that their name never dies. And sometimes people teach you things just by example. The example that they said, they don't have to say a word to you. You observe them like one of my Black principals, Mr. Willie Morris. We didn't fully understand everything that man did for us until we got grown and were able to reflect back on those days. Just our interaction with that man. And many people have many stories, and I'm talking about some of our old teachers have stories about our principal being their teacher and the lessons that he taught them. His legacy would forever live on. And this man didn't have biological children. We make sure that these names never die, that these lessons that were taught by these people never die. And we honor them by giving them the credit for teaching these lessons, for passing these lessons on. I'm quick to tell people who taught me what. I don't try to claim things as my own. I don't try to claim ideas or lessons that I didn't come up with. I don't try to claim them as my own. I always tell people who taught me what, to honor that person for taking up time with me when they didn't have to, when they had sons of their own. So baby boomer, I say to you now, take a hard look at your legacy. Stop thinking about the material things that you have or the money that you have or your individual accomplishments. That is not your legacy. Oh, I had 10, 15 children. That is not your legacy. Whose lives have you touched? Whose lives have you improved through your wisdom or through your teachings? Who have you helped? That is how you cement your legacy. So I'll close by asking you to find some young people in your life, in your community, in your church, wherever you volunteer at, any other place where you run into young people. Initiate contact. Even if they don't come to you, initiate contact. Take the initiative to start teaching young people what you know. We need for you to initiate the great download, but we need for you to be okay with it, to be happy with it, to be happy to give your knowledge to someone else, where it may benefit them for the next 30, 40 years of their lives, to be able to send their children to college, where they might have not otherwise been able to. The great download is upon us, but we need you to be a willing participant. But the great download does not happen without y'all, without the baby boomer. So our beloved elders, the baby boomer, we need you. We need you to take your rightful place as our most senior elders, to be the advisors and to share your tribal knowledge and your wisdom. Will you work with us? Will you teach us? Until next time, understand your assignment, stay focused, and remain resilient. Ashe.
Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our name.